Dollar. Dirt and money, no soul. Had to go and get it, ain't no time to kick it. Got a stack and flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partners. Keep my money long, get my team strong. Get me run away from my problems.
Yep, let's get original crew, man. We're back. We have Not Everyone Needs a Podcast.
Facts.
I was going to ask you agree or disagree, but you already said facts.
Definitely agree.
I think too many people have a podcast. Like, we can even go deeper into this. Do everyone needs a social media account? No. There's so many uneducated people, so many that just freely toss on the internet spreading false information, really are not educated to speak on certain topics, and everybody feels as though they should just speak on whatever. I'm like...
And the topics that people speak, I'm like, if you're going to speak on these topics, do your research.
Yes.
Like, really get the facts. Like, really, put in the work to do that, but no one does.
And now
I ain't gonna say no one. A lot of people don't.
Yeah. And then y'all now are taking it to the podcast lane, just trying to make money.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, what are we doing nowadays, bro? But hey, with that
and a lot of them are toxic too. A lot of these podcasts are very toxic. But anyway, let's go. Sorry.
But hey, with that being said, before we get into it, make sure you check out the links in the description box.
Down below.
You already know where to go. If you want to first support, all you got to do is check out down below. Also, if you enjoyed today's visuals,
like it with a thumbs up.
We highly appreciate it. But let's dive into it, y'all. Let's check it out. Let's see what we got cooked up today. You ready?
I'm ready.
Let's go.
Look, I'm going to be the one to say it. Just because you have one good conversation with your homies, that does not mean that you need to start a podcast. I'm tired of dudes talking about aliens once, then thinking that they have the right to buy a Shure SM7B from Best Buy. Now they got a podcast called Alien Talks that's just uninteresting and...
Why you look at my mic when he said this? Nah, bro. Yeah, my God. See, I'm waiting on mine to get here.
I ain't waiting on nothing. I'm waiting for them to send me my coins.
She salty, y'all. We bought a mic and it came faulty.
Mine did.
Well, yeah, hers did.
So sad.
It came faulty. Hey.
Then they go want to take all that to give me my money.
I did a stencil checks to make sure it wasn't working. And I was like, yeah, it's messed up. So you got to send it back.
Anyway, anywho.
7B from Best Buy. Now they got a podcast called Alien Talks that's just uninteresting and dry. The host sucks, the friends suck, and even the podcast name sucks. You're not the next Joe Rogan, bro. Put the mic down and put the fries in the bag. Someone's got to...
That is true.
Oh, that's a real...
A lot of people do. I don't know if that's real. But a lot of people do think they can be the next Joe Rogan. Y'all fail to realize who Joe Rogan was before podcasting, bro. Yeah. Or the next Joe Budden. Y'all forget to realize who Joe Budden is beyond just the podcast. He's still, no, my bad. He retired from rapping.
He retired.
He was a rapper. He has strong industry ties. Also, Joe Budden did do radio. Mm-hmm. So he understands the media aspect. Everybody just thinks, hey, it's a lot of podcasts, but nobody, I don't know if there's a podcast for this. I haven't seen it. Just because you haven't looked yet. 9 times out of 10, there's a podcast already for everything.
True.
Like, y'all gotta stop.
You're not the next Joe Rogan, bro. Put the mic down and put the fries in the bag. Someone's got to say it. Remember that one relative that told you that you weren't making it to the NBA when you were like 5 years old? Just think of me as that. Hey, everyone needs a little bit of tough love in their life. Not everyone can be nice in this world. And I'm going to be the boogeyman here saying how your podcast sucks and your friends are boring. Maybe you should think twice before you take that trip to Best Buy. See, the problem is that this world is way too nice now. And now we have podcast clips of dudes talking about how they want their mothers to have good sexual experiences.
Because I love my mom, I want her to come. I don't know if this is weird to say, but I want my mom to have flawless experiences.
How do you not know if that's weird to say? Like, oh my.
In the world?
What are we doing nowadays?
That's disturbing.
No, you know what it is? You know what it really is? It ain't the effect of the podcast and people wanting to go viral.
Yeah.
They're wanting the clip to go viral, so they saying the most wildest things that they can possibly ever think of just to make sure somebody clip it, they go viral.
That is true.
And get some trending.
That is so true. I've seen that.
That's what it is.
I've been seeing it a lot lately.
Yeah.
My gosh, I want my mom to have great sexual experience. That is weird.
I want you to have that.
Yeah,
too.
and I want you to have that as well.
So it's like,
Is that weird to say?
like, I genuinely want my mom to be getting down good.
I'm going to give you some tough love right here. You know, this is going to be the toughest love that you've ever felt. This love is going to be tougher than a well-done steak. You need to stop podcasting, bro. I'm sorry. Never in my life have I ever thought about my mom having good sexual experiences. Y'all are just odd human beings. What even sparks this conversation? Like, how do you even get to this point? And why was this video even uploaded to the masses, bro? We need to start telling people no more often. You know what, man? I'm thinking about starting a podcast. No, bro, put the mic down. At this point, it needs to be easier to buy an RPG from a gun store than it is to buy a microphone from Best Buy. Because I promise you, if there were background checks for mics, we would be nowhere near this point. It feels like everyone has a pod.
I ain't gonna hold you. If there was a background check for majority of this stuff, even you might make the cut. And I ain't taking shots at y'all. Anyone. I'm not.
Even like somebody, we can not qualify for something.
Well, I would.
Bro.
Background check. I do have every qualification to have a microphone.
Okay, well, I may not qualify for something. Let me speak for myself.
I gotta start bringing my degrees. I'm degree. Degree.
I mean, I have degree.
I have a specified degree.
But yeah, okay, anyway, yeah, okay, you qualify. But anyway, I may not be qualified, whatever the case may be. But yeah, but a lot of these people...
hold on. You weren't qualified. You took journalist class.
So, anyway...
You took class.
Okay, that's besides the point. Like, I
just took more, but you took
I was trying to make a point.
Maybe they need to take these mics out of our hands.
At this point, take a here, come get them.
Mics, cameras, all.
Everything. But no, but for real though.
If there were background checks for mics, we would be nowhere near this point. It feels like everyone has a podcast nowadays. And when I say everyone, I mean everyone. NBA players, rappers, children.
I ain't gonna hold
the Hawk Tuah girl just...
That's the two things I hate to see. A sports podcast by a player, an active current player. Active current player.
Yeah.
And an active current rapper, entertainer, whatever. Mm-hmm. If you're going to be in a profession, go be in that profession. I shouldn't also see you doing a podcast because you want me. The number one thing when I see that, money. It's a money grab. It's not for what you really want. It's not because you truly have a passion behind it. Yeah. It's simply only because the money aspect of it. Don't be, and I don't want to hear anybody. If it was for the money, they already make a lot of money. They in the NBA. Have y'all not heard of taxes? Yeah. They get taxed. They got agent. Somebody with money, you know what the best thing they could ever do? Make even more money. I got downtime through the off season. I'm doing podcasting so I can continue to get a check. All of them do it. Rappers, you know what? You want me to tell you what? One of the biggest things right now. Rappers ain't getting no money, bro. So you know what they doing? They got to make it in some other way. So they hopping on social media. They ain't doing this because they like it and this is trendy, it's fun. They doing it only solely for a check.
And for some people, they don't care about that. They don't see nothing wrong with that. And that's
I think social media, I haven't seen it, but it's probably not one of the only thing that the labels ain't being able to get within the 360 deals. Mm-hmm. When I'm like, YouTube and all that, like, because they'll create a whole separate YouTube channel. Yeah. 360 deals, they can get your music, your merch, if we do any sponsorship, but this is totally different. Yeah. What you was going to say, though?
I was going to say nothing. I
forgot. You said they might actually be doing...
No, I just said, and I get it, some people don't see anything wrong with that, like, whatever. Yeah. But it is what it is.
Nowhere near this point. It feels like everyone has a podcast nowadays. And when I say everyone, I mean everyone. NBA players, rappers, children. The Hawk Tuah girl just started a podcast called Talk Tuah. Don't get me wrong. Shout out to her for running up a bag off that one phrase, you know? I saw that she got $30K for popping out to a club a few weeks ago. Like, kudos to her, you know? I'ma clap it up for her. But why would I want to hear that woman speak for 2 hours straight each week about current events in her life? I mean, for crying out loud, she got famous famous for talking about how she spits on the pee-pee. Why am I supposed to care about what this woman has to say? Does she really need a podcast for saying Hawk Tuah and spit on that thing? You get me? The world could...
Y'all better chill. We using that meme now. Chill. She trying to bully the dude out the rights to the video, and it's his video. So y'all better be careful, man. Especially once these people get a little 15 seconds of fame, they start snatching. Them late one, cause she signed to some people, and those people are more powerful than your little YouTube. But I'm glad the dude standing his ground and saying, "Hey, no, it's my clip."
Right.
Like, yeah, that might be the only thing I'm known for.
Yeah.
But you ain't finna have it though.
Could go without a podcast from this woman. You know what? Maybe I'm just hating. You know, maybe why don't I just check out one episode?
Can't do it as good as
do it.
You do it.
No, you do it.
Hawk Tuah.
You gotta put like an emphasis on it, like tuh. You know, like really. Yeah.
Say that shit with a country accent. Ugh.
Say it, all right, all together.
Hawk Tuah.
Hawk
Tuah. Hawk Tuah.
Say it aggressive, like
Hawk
really.
Tuah.
You want me? I ain't gonna lie. You know, growing up in high school, bro, we were like, all the athletes don't reason why y'all date the white girls. You give it all. Like, you only talking to white girl because they give it like,
I mean, I don't know.
No, that's just, you know.
I mean,
the running of the narrative of, man, you know. And she said she spit on that thing, so she validates something.
After watching one episode of the Talk to a podcast, I wanted to announce that I am quitting YouTube and becoming a full-time neurosurgeon, astronaut, and monk, all because of this podcast. This is one of the most enlightening podcasts that I have ever watched, and I just wanted to say thank you, Hawk Tuah girl, for opening my third eye and helping me evolve as a human being with your phenomenal podcast. I really appreciate you. All jokes aside, no hate to her. She's just capitalizing off her opportunity like any other human being would in her position. But overall, I just don't think there's anything really interesting about this woman that sets her apart from all these other podcasts out there. Yeah, she may be able to get some great guests on there because the podcast is connected to Better, which is a sports media company co-owned by Jake Paul. But at the end of the day, like, the guests can only carry her so far, you know? Like I said, there's not much interesting about this woman. She got famous for saying how she spits on the nutsack, you feel me? But like I said, she's just capitalizing off of a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Podcasts, after all, aren't the hardest thing to do. Podcasting is one of those things that I believe is easy to start but hard to master. The bare minimum is to get a few mics, sit down with some friends, record, chat for a little bit, and boom, you got a podcast. Like, it's not that hard. And if you already have an audience, it makes creating a podcast even easier. Because if the audience you've garnered cares to watch you for like maybe a few seconds or a few minutes each day, they'll for sure listen to you talk for about 2 hours each week. So it makes sense to why so many people are starting podcasts nowadays. But like the title says, not everyone needs one. While some of them are good, some just feel like people talking just to talk. Like, I wouldn't even call some people's podcast a podcast. I'd rather call it mic terrorism. The other day, I saw a podcast clip of two dudes talking about lefty loosey, righty tighty being the greatest invention of...
You did it again.
Did what, man?
You did it yesterday too.
It went between us. It's
No,
like a little piece
it
of
was
land.
on me. It went on me.
Okay, I apologize.
She did this two videos.
It's just natural to put it right here than to like do this.
But somebody sitting right next to you, why would you throw whatever you don't want on you onto them? Y'all, please let me know.
I didn't
Dang,
do it
bro.
on you intentionally. I
don't know. That's your second time, so at this point, you do it a third. Hey, we're gonna have to fight on camera or something.
Stop saying that.
I know, Codifo.
They,
What is going on with you guys? This is so... Shut your ass up.
I don't see this working. Like,
Oh,
bro,
no,
you don't know.
ridiculous. Shut your ass up and go get a life, bro. But
anyway, let's stay focused.
I remember we talked about doing a podcast for like
but this was
2
like,
days. It was years ago.
This was years ago.
It was like, but we talked about it for like 2 days.
4 years ago?
Probably
maybe longer than that. 5 years ago?
Probably about 5.
Probably about 5 years ago.
5 or 6 years ago. About 5 or 6.
Probably 5 years ago. 5.5.
Yeah,
something like that.
But we talked about it for like 2 days, and we was just like, we were trying to come up with a name and all that. And I was like, nah.
I
Because I don't want to. That's not. Because I was like, it ain't gonna be consistent.
And I'm the type of person I can't force it. Like I like we can talk about certain situations, but I'm like so like because what you wanted to do, like the type, I'm like just so like
repetitive.
No,
oversaturated.
I said I'm so.
Oh, I was talking about it's overpetitive.
But yeah, it is though. Yeah. But I was like, I'm just so like private. I knew that like certain topics, like what you wanted to do, like would have to like because you want to relate, so you will have to bring personal into it at some point. And I'm just like,
Yeah, true that.
Like,
true.
Yeah.
Clip of two dudes talking about lefty loosey righty tighty being the greatest invention of all time.
Lefty loosey righty tighty is the craziest invention of man. I use that all the time. The saying lefty loosey righty tighty. We just got a new machine. Okay. It's like it's called an articulating log loader.
Yeah, what?
It sounds like my toilet paper.
Yeah.
There's forks like this that picks up a log and then it can open and close on it, and the left button opens it and the right button closes it. And I literally say to myself, I'm like, lefty loosey, righty tighty, when I need to let go or grab on. It's the lefty loosey. I might get that tattooed on myself.
Like, no offense to these two dudes at all, because they're probably great people. I could probably sit down, chop it up with them, eat a steak, and just vibe out with these dudes. But there's got to be something way more interesting to talk about than a saying used for when you're screwing something in. Like, what's next? Are we going to talk about bunny ears being the best method to tie your shoes? Or maybe even schist being the best rock there is? This conversation just feels so bland and pointless. Like, if an alien were to imagine two human beings talking, I'm pretty sure it'd think of this AI generated ass convo right here. Like, this is the product of podcasts being so easy to start up. We now have dudes talking about screwing mechanisms as a topic of interest. Like, I don't think every conversation has to be important in a podcast, but there's no way that these dudes copped some premium podcast mics, got the setup and everything just to talk about lefty loosey, righty tighty. This podcast just has no meaning at all. It's just yip and yap going back and forth about nothing. I swear these podcasts just get worse and worse, bro. Like, there's just too many podcasts now, and what more is there really to talk about? We gotta sit here and like just think for a second. What more is there really to talk about? Instead of having to get a degree for a job, people need to start getting a degree for a podcast. Like, let's just be real. Like, is there
take a course, go to
no, there is media. You can't go to school for media and journalism.
I was talking about like going that route and like really getting
get a degree. Yeah. Same way to be a news anchor, you have to be a degree. Trust me.
At this point,
trust me, I went to school with a lot of them, and they are on your news television now.
Yeah, because at this point, I'm over the conversations.
I think for every career choice you want, you need to have some kind of background diploma to even go into it. Because why would I go to a podcast to get some advice when you not being qualified in anything you're talking about?
Qualified to speak on the things that you're talking.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You want to just go to any doctor. You want to go to anybody just for a doctor. Mm-hmm. Hey, come to me. You can come. Your insurance can pay me. I'll provide you whatever prescription you want. No, you have to be qualified for that. Or you can come sit with me. You can open up events with me. I'll be your therapist. No, you gotta have a degree to be qualified for that.
Yeah.
You have to have so people are pouring into you anything. I would want people who have some kind of education background, some kind of study and knowledge of what they're talking about to be able to pour into me. True. Like right now, all the athletes feel as though they're the best ones to be able to talk on the sports because they played and they. So what makes y'all qualified to, you know what I'm saying, talk about anything else?
Yeah.
Y'all want to talk, y'all go on these podcasts, talk about everything else under the sun. What makes you qualified for that? Because y'all get mad now at the journalists for talking about it. And y'all try to criticize you. What level of sports did you play? Well, I've studied this very much to be able to talk on it.
Yeah.
Well, I played, so I'm more qualified than you. Okay. Sure, talk about that.
Talk about that and that only.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There really a need for a podcast where frat dudes talk about Hawk Tuah?
Bro, I don't know if you heard of the Hawk Tuah girl.
Yeah.
Hawk Tuah. Spit on that thing. Yeah.
Bro, that blew out of proportion. Like, I low-key think it got too big.
You think?
Yeah.
I don't even know if I've seen the clip, but good for her, I guess. I don't know.
No, like...
This is just two individuals who have nothing to talk about. That's literally what it is. You can tell in the conversation.
It's everywhere. Dude, even at, like, Old Town, you'll hear Hawk Tuah remixes.
Really?
Yes.
Bro, I think it's crazy that you can like do one little thing and a clip can go viral and then all of a sudden the next day you're like a celebrity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's crazy.
Yo, this guy in the comment section even gets it. This man said podcast equipment should cost $1 billion. I totally agree. I'm not gonna lie, like, no offense to these dudes, probably some great people, but I'd rather drag my balls through the hot Sahara Desert than listen to these frat dudes talk for 2 hours straight. You best believe I'm serving a life sentence before I listen to Jimmy and Tom from the Beta Theta Sigma frat talk on a podcast for 2 hours. Like, this podcast is just drier than a Popeye's biscuit. There is no energy at all to this conversation. And you may be thinking, like, bro, you can't judge off of just one clip of the podcast, you know? This is every clip.
What is your favorite frat?
I don't know. I like how big SAE's parties are and like Lambda, but like
SAE do have some dope ass party though. SAE, you know about them?
Yeah, shout ahead. They big old house right
ATO?
on the front street.
ATO?
It is.
But you know about ATO?
Oh no, though that's who had they. That's who had they. Were the school I went to. But I seen all y'all's lined up.
That's the girls.
Is it the girls? What the guys? Is probably like they have their own little like they.
I can show you two of them though. One of them they got their sign right out in front, and then the other one that's the ones I've been to the party and they had it was in the backyard. They had a barn in the backyard and they used to turn up. But I used to work with a couple. I forgot what my roommate he plays one of them.
I can't remember which one had their I think their colors were like a burgundy.
So don't ask about the colors. Man.
Okay.
I know about the toga parties. I know it's like they got a type of parties. Yeah. But now when you start talking about colors and all that, nah.
Cause that's the way that I can remember it. Sometimes.
Hey, you talking about Greek Road? They're just the sorority houses, though. That's just the girls' sorority houses.
It's just the girls.
Predominantly the white girls.
Like I think ASIG just threw a really cool party. So
I heard, dude.
Yeah.
Kyle was just on it. He's an ASIG.
Yeah. It was a really good party.
This podcast just sucks. This convo just sounds so generic and bland. No energy at all. Just, what's your favorite frat? I like SAA. They're bag. Oh my God. I heard Kyle's there. Like, get this off the airways, bruh. Like, what did Joe Budden say?
That shit is a 2-pack of ass.
I genuinely wish I could take back the few seconds of my life I wasted watching that podcast clip because now I just feel 10x dumber than what I was before. I feel like one of the keys to a great podcast is an entertaining host because there's going to be boring parts to a podcast and it's up to the host to make that podcast interesting when it's getting dry. But the problem with this podcast is that the host has the personality of a raw chicken wing. So when he talks about boring topics and he's also boring, that just makes the podcast 10 times more boring. Another problem with everyone starting a podcast is that some people don't believe that they need to do proper research before they record. Like a little bit ago on Twitch, there was this streamer named Jason the Ween who hit 100,000 subscribers, you know? He was number 2 on Twitch for his amount of subscribers in that month. And then there was this shitty TikTok podcast called the 949 podcast that decided to give their opinion on the whole situation. And no, they're not really knowledgeable when it comes to this whole streaming space. So this was their take.
Streaming is the new wave. It's because it's just, but the thing is, it's the new wave because of clips.
Exactly.
Like Jason the Ween, guess how many live viewers he has? Just guess.
Depends on the time.
Just guess.
Like
you guys
5K?
guess. Well, how many live viewers do you think he got?
Like,
I don't really
3K?
know. I don't know
3K. So like he's like a number 2, or I guess like, well, he has like around 15 to 20.
Oh wow.
You know what I'm saying?
That's pretty good.
But to think about it, like that's not that good in terms of like views.
You a motherfucker
That's
live?
I feel like it's good for live.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. It's good for live, but think about the people in the world. It's only 15K.
15K,
So that's what I'm saying. Streaming is not like a mainstream thing yet. It's only mainstream because of the clips that they put out after.
Yeah,
Which get millions and millions of views.
Right.
But no.
Boy, shut the fuck up.
What are you talking about, sir?
Like really, and I guess he's the lead carrier of the podcast. But like dude said, like the lead character, I always say this: the voice has to be very like energetic. If your voice, if you could, like, because I know people always say, "Hey, I guess when it comes down to Kid and C, I kind of lead."
Yeah, you
things.
do. Yeah, you do.
And it's not because I want to. It just so happened that's how it happened.
It's because I don't want to. Let's be real. I don't want to.
One day you and C should swap it up, and she should like, bro.
I don't want to. Like my thing is, if it's not broke, and don't fix it.
But the thing people were like, it is broke. Like, well, just
it's
don't tune
not.
in. But the thing is, you just don't tune in.
You don't have to tune in. Like, it is what it is. But whatever.
But I will say this: a lot of times, because sometimes. Another thing when it comes down to a host or whoever leads the conversation, it's good for that person to be kind of somewhat uncontrollable or uncontrollable to a point, but controllable. You know what I'm saying? Where they might say things so spontaneous and stupid sometimes.
Stupid. Why you say it like that?
I don't know.
And stupid.
But you see what I'm saying? Like sometimes stuff come out of my mouth. I'm not trying. It just comes out. But it's not trying to be disrespectful or ever. You know what I mean? Sometimes I can be disrespectful and I don't give a fuck. But you should, it should, somebody with some kind of characteristic about that.
But I will say sometimes, like, letting him lead everything, it does make me a little nervous. Because sometimes I think you're super unhinged and I never know what's going to come out of your mouth.
I keep it under control.
You keep it cute?
No, I keep it under control. Because if y'all saw me,
you try to.
Sometimes even in daily life, when it's just me and her, I could say some wild shit.
He has no filter.
That I would never say on camera, though.
He has no filter.
Actually, I do have a filter. Because sometimes I will filter it for camera.
Sometimes. Very rare.
A lot of times.
Man.
A lot of times.
I get nervous every time you open your mouth.
Girl, stop it.
No one's actually watching that shit live.
But hold on. 15,000 concurrent viewers is actually great. That's a lot of people who are actually 15,000, bro. Do you not know how hard it is?
Congratulate people, give them props, and move on. Like, because when people start speaking on stuff like that and like downplaying things, it gives me hate. It gives me haters. Like, why are we
jealousy,
like
envy?
Yeah, it's like why are we doing that?
Because I'll say this, y'all nowadays be too fixated on the numbers. Y'all
Very
ain't even
much
clocking
so.
how much this man making. I don't clock the numbers. Unless I'm trying to clock the dollar signs for motivation. Sometimes I clock people's numbers. I'm like, all right, let me see. I'm like, okay, I see what you making, my dog. I see what you making. Think about 100,000. It's a $5 per sub. That's $500,000. Clock it like that. Plus ad revenue. Even though it's a split, that's $250,000 that much. Depending on how his split is, I'm just going 50-50 split.
Yeah, and it's him.
Plus ad revenue, plus donos. So he probably went home with $500,000 while you sitting up here. He really doesn't get as much money. He's
like,
not.
Think about it. All the people in the world.
Think about it. He probably clocked more than you will make in 1 month, more than what you will make in 2 years. Stop it, bro. Only thing numbers to equate to is the amount of money that they make to motivate you. That's the only reason why I look at people's numbers. I'm trying to get motivated by the next man. I will pocket watch. I don't mind.
I sure be like, why you pocket watching? He was like,
motivation. Because
like,
motivation for me to get on my.
I feel you though.
Because sometimes.
But I don't like these conversations.
But on some real spills, sometimes our numbers. People be trying to talk about our numbers.
I don't even watch our numbers. Why are you watching them?
Also, our numbers don't equivalent to the amount of money we make. Because a lot of y'all, if y'all knew how much, no, I ain't gonna say that. But I'm just like, bro, stop it. And sometimes our numbers look like that on the first day. You come back 2 months from now, y'all be like, dang, that video actually went up. It'd be random videos just be going up. I'd be like, dang, that video trended. It'd be a video I done seen we put out 3 years ago, just be trending and to get 10,000 views in a day. And I'll just be like, why? And it's just the YouTube algorithm. And podcasts, the only reason why a lot of y'all going viral is because of clip culture. Because I done went past a lot of podcasters and looked at their clips.
Yeah.
Getting views. I go look at y'all actual podcast vid, and that bit ain't getting about 800 views per episode.
And at the end of the day,
and y'all sitting over here with a gold YouTube plaque, and I'm like, how y'all got 1 million subscribers, but y'all only get 800 views per video? And now I said, oh, it's the shorts, it's the clips. They only tune in for the clips. Yeah. But to each his own, do you, boo-boo?
Yeah. No, literally, bro.
There's a few things that piss me off about this Dookie TikTok podcast. Number one, this man is saying streaming is only big because of clips. Yeah, because nobody's gonna sit there and watch an 8-hour stream front to back, you idiot. So to make it more digestible for the average viewer, streamers and their audiences make clips so that more people can see their streams. What's so bad about that? Another thing this man says is 15K live viewers isn't good views because the clips get millions of views. That's how the internet works. And 15K is good because it puts him in the top 0.1% of streamers. Like, why is it surprising that a live stream has less views than a TikTok video? Are we becoming this slow in society where we can't comprehend that a live stream that you have to watch live has less views than a video where you can watch whenever? This dude knows nothing about what he's talking about. He's just saying a hot take because he has a mic in his face with the cameras on. This podcast just sounds like one huge gossip session. That's the problem with a lot of these podcasts. Some of them are just gossip sessions. Another situation of a podcast host not knowing what they're talking about is this one right here. So a little bit ago, there's a situation with
what's the name of the podcast?
Podcast hosts not knowing what they're talking about is this one.
The need to know.
Okay.
Never
the
heard of
Need to Know
it.
podcast.
One right here. So a little bit ago, there's a situation with Cenat, right? He had a cameraman that was talking to an underage girl, and this podcast decided to put out their take on it because, hey, it was a fresh topic. Why don't we say something about it, you know? Why don't we do it for the clicks and engagement? And this is what they had to say.
Cenat, everybody can't go. You need to start looking around. And I know, like, black people specifically, when you get some success, you want to bring everybody with you, but you got to be able to kind of weed that shit out. I shouldn't know who Chris V is. I shouldn't know who Chris Next Door is.
But Chris Next Door is literally an AMP member. What do you mean?
And that's where the fact checking needs to, because without AMP, there's no Kai. From my understanding, looking at the journey, because I did know who AMP was before I knew who Kai was. Because I remember when they were just doing pickup basketball and stuff with the AMP crew. Yeah. I knew who Asian was before I knew anybody else in part of AMP. Same. Because I was watching like some of his 2K stuff, and not necessarily like knew him. I know his face, and I came across him. But out of everybody, I think he had the most recognizable face as far as on the platform than anybody else. So I think I did see that, and they were taking shots. Like, understand people's journey. Like, Chris Next Door used to be the editor of AMP. He was like, he became a part of the crew. Like, do some basic.
And that's my only thing. If y'all are going to get on, that's basic. That is the most basic little quick search that you can do.
And during that whole thing, I found out how Chris V became his editor, and I was like, and also we done tuned into a lot of Kai's streams before. He was a big help to Kai. Mm-hmm. He wasn't just there along for the ride. He was working his ass off with Kai. Yeah. So yeah, it sucks for whatever he did. That's a whole separate situation. But it's not somebody who's just a latchy who's just trying to go along for the ride. Yeah. It's somebody who's contributing to the journey. But my bad, I wasn't trying to overtalk you though.
Oh, I wasn't trying to say nothing.
I said you said something at one point.
Yeah, and I said it. I don't
mean
know
that you shouldn't know who he is.
I should know who Cenat is because you are the driving force in it. But them I shouldn't even know who they are.
I think it's important to highlight that Chris Next Door is an AMP member. If you guys don't know what AMP is, that is Cenat's group.
That's the problem. Cenat shouldn't have a group.
That's not Cenat group. That's actual AMP. Then they brought Cenat in because Phantom was cool with Kai and all this stuff. Go do the research and understand what the group. And I ain't gonna lie, every time I see AMP merch, it's always him modeling it. I'm like, I wonder if it's his idea behind the AMP merch. That is good. Because they all contributed in different ways.
Is an AMP member. If you guys don't know what AMP is, that is Cenat's group.
That's the problem. Cenat shouldn't have a group.
Cenat joined the group before he became this huge mega streaming machine. This dude knows nothing about what he's talking about. He's just saying a hot take because he's on a podcast.
Shout out to AMP.
That's how they got on.
Having a team and making it with your team is very important. But if there are problematic people in there, kick them out immediately.
But you gotta know when you are the one, like he is the one. I get it.
So he should abandon everybody?
Yes.
He did not do this alone. Like, there was a journey of a camp of them.
They came together.
And I agree, like, this problematic person, this person that was underage girls, he has to go. Bye, we're never speaking to you, cut ties.
Now that we are here.
So you saying like KSI, because he got on, he became famous, he shouldn't be working with the Sidemen anymore. Okay, got it. What the fuck? Okay, Nico shouldn't be working with Better Squad because he's the most notable when it comes down to the YouTube space.
Like, just
what
because...
the content is great when they all together. You know what I'm saying? It wouldn't be the same, bro. Same way with AMP. I don't think it would be the same if Kai was just to say, all right, F y'all. Like, I think they all work in jail straight good together. Same way with Simon. I couldn't see anybody else a part of Simon. I couldn't see nobody outside of Simon.
Yeah.
Same way with Beta Squad. Same way with any group
It just
that
makes
thrives.
sense.
That's the reason why typically when a group fails, like when one member leaves a group, it typically fails. Especially if y'all try to replace it.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't look right. They jailed. They have great chemistry.
And it's the second, third, however many times something like this has happened. What does he do moving forward? Because now it can't keep happening. You have to insulate yourself because at the end of the day, that group doesn't mean anything without him.
That is cap because everyone actually grew themselves before they were in AMP.
Which is
That's why
facts.
it worked so well as a group because everyone had their own platform before joining. Except for Chris. He kind of created his platform after, but he was still pretty known. But this guy just knows nothing about what he's talking about. And this is my problem with so many of these podcasts. Like, if you're gonna put out a statement on any current topic, you gotta do the research to back it up. You're gonna end up looking like an idiot. You can't just go in willy-nilly on something that you know nothing about. That's why a lot of bigger podcasts like Joe Rogan have someone who can fact check, which is Jamie on his podcast. And if you can't afford someone to be in that spot, you should just look it up yourself before you put out this idiotic take on something you know nothing about. Like, there's a difference.
All you gotta do is say, let me Google real quick and stop using Wikipedia as a source.
That's what I said. It takes nothing but a quick search. Like, you are 9 times out of 10, most of the time, you already have a direction of where you want to go or whatever the case when you sit down. Before you sit down,
you don't. You don't.
I'm talking about what people that's doing podcasting and stuff like that.
Some podcast people might not.
Well, some may not.
We was doing this movie. I mean, I said this video until I clicked it off.
Yeah, but I don't talk out my butt though. Like, I'm a thinker. I really think before I say something. Even if someone doesn't agree, I still think to make sure it's something that I want to say and it resonates with, the point I'm trying to get across. But my point was just do a quick search. Like 9 times out of 10, you probably have maybe a direction of where you want to go before you sit down or whatever the case may be.
Or
the topics you want to speak on, or like you see something like, oh, that'll be good to bring up. Do a little quick search before you start speaking on things to make sure you have your facts in order before you open your mouth.
Or you could clearly say, hold on, before I say anything, let me check this out real quick.
Or do that, whatever
y'all continue
it is.
to talk and let me just look. It's 3 of y'all,
3, 4.
3 or 4 of y'all talking.
Many.
They can go ahead and have a conversation and then you can be like, okay, I got my facts real quick, so let me address this.
Yeah. Well, however you want to do it, beforehand.
Open your mouth and be a dumbass.
Facts beforehand or at the moment during the time, whatever. Just do a search.
Cause we search sometime while we doing a video, and I'll be like, "Oh, okay, my bad. Like this is what I mean. This we fact check doing the video and we cut nothing out."
And yeah, we may say something, may not know, but I'm not going to speak as if I like know it. Like hey, if we wrong, correct us. I don't mind being corrected.
Difference between a hot take and just a bad and uneducated take. And this right here is what I consider an uneducated take because he just lacks the knowledge on what he's talking about. I like how some people on the podcast are trying to tell him yo, it's not like this, it's kind of like this, but he just doesn't want to listen. He just decides to be ignorant. Yeah. I swear some people just get a mic in their face and their brains just go to mush. They don't know what they're talking about. I seen a dude the other day talking about how you need to stop wearing Nike socks with shoes for no reason at all, just because he said so.
Stop wearing Nike socks with shoes, bro. Or a designer shoe. Even if you wear Nike socks with some Air Force Ones, just stop doing that, bro. I'm sorry, bro. I just can't see nobody wear no Nike socks with a pair of shoes, bro. Like, what are you doing? I think that's crazy.
What do your socks have to do with anything on your fit? I understand.
No, I was just gonna say, hey, I like comfortable socks. Some of the most expensive socks.
Cause socks not equal to me.
Hell no.
Like I
can't. I ain't gonna lie.
I haven't
bought a pair of socks from I'm gonna just be real.
First of all, this is so dumb.
Walmart,
I'm gonna wear what I want to wear.
Target in so long. I had to go spend a lot of money on socks.
Anyway, it's a dumb conversation.
Thick, comfortable. Like I told you, these socks right here, $15.
You're not listening.
These $15 a pop socks. They are comfortable as hell.
At the end of the day, wear what you want to wear.
Wear what you want to wear.
Wear what makes you happy. Do not let anyone sit up here.
And they Nikes. They Nike. See, he said I can't wear my Nike socks no more. And I got red and black on, and they joint. What's this? Turquoise.
He worried about what socks somebody wearing.
Turquoise?
Need to go get a haircut, huh?
Turquoise and purple.
That is not what?
Turquoise. What color?
That is.
That ain't no normal blue. That's like fuchsia blue.
It's a type of blue. I can't think of the name.
But they comfortable, man. My feet having a good time in my socks.
Okay.
You say he need a haircut though.
Yes, you worried about.
Got a line up.
I don't care.
It's still nappy, huh?
I ain't
I don't like sitting up there with a Brillo pad on.
I don't like saying that.
Look like he's sitting up here with a Brillo pad on his head, worried about somebody's socks.
What are you doing? I think that's crazy.
What do your socks have to do with anything on your
Want
fit?
some
I understand if somebody says stop wearing a Nike shirt with Adidas pants, like that does kind of make sense. Yeah. But stop wearing Nike socks with shoes. Why? Why don't you tell us why? Why? I think people got to realize it's fine to have conversations without them being recorded. You know, we need to start stripping cameras and microphones away from society. Everyone has a voice, but not everyone's voice needs to be heard. And since this is a video about podcasts, there's another thing I got to get on my chest, bro. Alpha male podcast. This podcast format honestly just needs to retire, bro. Like when I tell you these podcasts are one of the worst things to ever hit the internet, because after these podcasts hit, all people would argue about is who was worse, women or men. I hate this whole argument because can we all just agree that men do bad things and so do women? Men lie and women lie. Are we done now? Like I hate this whole format of podcasts. But yeah, not everyone should have a podcast. Don't just think because you have one good conversation with your homie that you now need this full Joe Rogan podcast setup. No, you don't need that at all. You don't even need a podcast, bro. What you need is a muzzle. But all that being said, this is gonna wrap up the video. If you guys made this far, I appreciate you. Twitch camera.
That is fact. If you made it this far with us, man, I do appreciate you because I did not mean it for this video, but it was just natural, organic conversation, man. Just have them talk about it. Hey, if you don't like long reaction videos on topics, hey, don't watch a reaction video.
And if you don't.
Tired of y'all with that bullcrap too.
Same difference.
No, you say if you don't what?
I was about to say, and if you don't like us talking in our commentary,
please click off and go somewhere else. That's all you gotta do.
Go somewhere else or just go to the original video.
You ain't gotta go to the original video.
Like if you want to hear what he has to say, like because it bugs me that like you come to
a reaction. They literally say react.
I'm not just gonna sit here. Like that's weird to me.
Because if I just sit here, then y'all complain about people just sitting there.
But anyway, let's just.
But it was a nice conversation.
Yeah, I did enjoy the video.
Yeah, because it's a lot of truth that was spoke.
Most definitely.
That needed to be spoken on too. But hey, y'all spam us up, man. Y'all let us know your thoughts and opinions about it in the comment section down below. But until next time, y'all know how it go, man. I do go by the name DJ New Kid. This is
Sierra Nicole.
We are.
Kiddin' C.
We are.
No time to kick it, got a stack of flip for my foes. Dollar. Please tell me you can hear me. Don't turn your back and don't neglect me. Just let me know if you need me. Dollar. Let me watch out for my partner.